Best Buy is a company founded in 1966 by Richard Schultz. We sell a variety of items, such as home appliances, electronics, computer accessories, hardware accessories, and home media centers. Here at Best Buy, we believe that doing a combination of lowering prices and good customer service is the way to go. Now let's look at some questions asked about Best Buy. These are some of the most frequently asked questions that are asked when people walk into Best Buy. One of the questions asked is, what is our actual amount of accounts payable and revenue for Best Buy in 2004? Well, I can tell you this. The estimated value for our accounts payable on February 8th, 2004 was an estimate of $2,335,000,000. This amount is the amount the company owes to its vendors. Also, the revenue for February 8th, 2004 was on an estimate of $24,547,000,000. This amount is the amount that Best Buy receives from sales. The reason the balance sheets are not accurate is because they are rounded to the nearest million, for organization and space. For example, Barnes & Noble's financial statements are only rounded to the nearest thousandth, and does it for the same reason Best Buy does. But since Barnes & Noble is a smaller company, it does it to thousands, where Best Buy does it to millions. With these questions, we often feel that it is necessary to share our financial statements for 2003 and 2004. In this equation, we use assets. Assets are anything of value that's owned by the business. Assets equals liability, known as equity. Liabilities is an account owned by a business. Owner's equity is the amount remaining after the value of the liabilities are subtracted from all assets. Together, these terms of the equation form ALO. These are just estimated round to the nearest millions, and they do not add up. For 2003, for assets, we had an estimate of $7,694,000,000, which equaled the total of all of our liabilities accounts, which was an estimate of $4,939,000,000, plus owner's equity, which was $2,730,000,000. Our 2004 equation equaled out to our assets being on estimate of $8,652,000,000, which equaled an estimate of all of our liabilities added together, $729,000,000, plus owner's equity, which was on estimate of $3,422,000,000. We often show people this financial information about our receivables and our assets. This is the amount of receivables that is contained in our assets formed into a percent to show how much this number plays a factor in our assets amount. In 2003, our accounts receivables was a total of $312,000,000, while our assets were $7,694,000,000, which was a total percent of 4 in our assets. In 2004, our amount of receivables that were in our assets were $343,000,000, while our total assets were $8,652,000,000, and this was 3% of our assets. The reason we often give this information is that we often are asked these two following questions. The first one is, did your percent change between the years of 2003 and 2004? The answer to this question is by 1%, and the reason for this is that the company gained in assets $1 billion over the course of the year, while the receivables stayed at a median of $327 million. The second question asked is, if this percent changed rapidly, what would have to happen? The answer to this question is quite simple. For the percent to change to a higher percent, the total of assets will have to shrink without changing the receivables, or by having the receivables change but the assets stay the same. Also, to make the percent smaller, the receivables would have to shrink, keeping the assets the same, or by increasing the total asset value. This is what I see for Best Buy's future. These are just my opinions. In the next 10 years of this business, I expect that the outcome will not look good because of today's global economy and the outlook of what is going to look like with today's leaders. According to my advisors, our company has opened a new location in Europe. It is the first one ever built. With the economy, this might save the company by expanding business and increasing our global net worth. But with Best Buy's major competitors and the internet, it may be difficult to make as much profits as we might have in the 1990s. Even though we might benefit from other companies going out of business by getting a percent of their share, sales will never be as good and their revenue will slowly shrink, causing them to fall to the same fate as Circuit City, bankruptcy.